Welcome back, YouTube. Outcasts, future outcasts. It's episode 4 of my Team Racing Journal. I'm in Bahrain. I'm itching to get back in the car. This is the setup I plan to take into our first practice session, so let's do that. Let's get back in the car and hop back out on track. Alright, here we are back in the car, going back out on track in Bahrain. I don't even remember where we are in the championship. It's been about a month, I think, since I last uploaded. But on paper, it looks like we have 8 points.
Okay, mate, nice and steady here. I want a representative lap. This is what's going to set our race.
Thanks, Jeff. It looks like we have about 8 points as a team, which is great because we have no upgrades on the car, we have no facilities, and we're rated the worst on the performance indicator sheets. So, on paper, it looks like our first season ever is going fairly well. And Bahrain's a track that I love. I'm not consistent or comfortable at it, but we do have some tracks coming up that may yield us some points for sure. So we really need to focus up and try to get some points here if we can. Let's forward along to this practice lap. All right, we're starting the beginning of our practice session here, and actually you can see we go wide there. There's a bit of an understeer into the corner before the straight. Something to keep in mind going into this first corner. Keeping in mind also, I am on hards on a very green track. So I'm going to brake hard into turn 1 here and pull that front end in. It is fighting me, but the Delta's green. And the car's feeling somewhat decent. So, yeah, Bahrain's an interesting track for me. I love it so much, but I'm not always super consistent. Right there, I missed the corner of turn 4 as well, the apex. So the car is definitely, at this point, registering as understeery to me. I love these corners here, but you got to be careful of beaching it there. And then P8, that hairpin, I missed the apex there as well. But this is a good example of, you know, the kind of lap you might end up doing during the race. So in terms of a practice strategy, I'm okay with this. I'm also desperate to know what the tire wear situation is going to look like. Bahrain is a very high tire deg track, and you can see there, even into turn 11 there, I went wide. The tires are now overheated, it seems. And Bahrain, though, even though it's high on tire wear, it's so much fun. It becomes, you know, sort of this dance when you do enough laps that it's hard not to appreciate it. And again, not able to get the car settled into the corner going into that last corner, but you know, we're okay. The lap was okay. And I think I'm just going to continue on and see where we end up, barring any massive mistakes. I think I have an issue here coming out of these corners, but other than that, the lap should be relatively solid going forward until, well, we'll see what happens next. And lap 4 again on a practice program.
Oh, me!
Yeah. George Russell and I somehow managed to find a wind of gust. A gust of wind. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there. Every lap 4 of my practice program, I seem to run into another car, but on the telemetry, everything is looking good, so.
And if today's practice is anything to go by, we're in for an exceptional weekend of Formula One.
I end up still, you know, somewhere near the back of the pack, but we're seconds ahead of our teammate in the same car, so yeah, work to be done. Moving on to qualifying, this is the setup I ended up going with. I threw on a few more clicks of downforce. I realized the tire wear was a little bit too high, and I adjusted the ride height there as well. I think I end up pulling back the front left as well here. It just, the tires were not feeling right for some reason, and so I've made some adjustments, and we're gonna go back out on track. And oh, I hate having these AI behind me in these tight corners, so I'm gonna just get completely out of his way. And let's figure out who we need to worry about exactly in the championship here. I think I've got an image somewhere showing like where our results have actually been and what's going on in the championship, but I can't remember if I put that in here or not. And I think the picture was taken after this race was done, so I have to block out this race's results, which is great because I don't remember what happened. But yeah, I joined Dream Racing League. Somebody in that community there asked me if I wouldn't mind representing their Team Haas there, and couldn't pass up the offer, so ended up doing that. And that's what's kind of kept me busy over the month. But as you can see, so far we did get some points on debut in Australia. We got P9 in China, and then in Japan, I think I finished P12 on track and then succumbed to a 12-second time penalty, which put us P16, which sucks because I think points were maybe on offer that race, but there were so many mistakes. And that's sort of the idea going into this race, going into this first qualifying session, going into this Grand Prix weekend, is just let's minimize the mistakes. We've had potential to get more than we've gotten. So going into this first qualifying lap, I really want to minimize the mistakes. Even if we're slightly a little slower than optimal, I really just want to get the race down. The lap down, and just distracted by obviously understeering again into that corner. The car just would not cooperate. And I think here in turn 4, even though I'm anticipating it, I'm still struggling. And you can see there, actually, I didn't notice at the time, but the tires are way too cold. Yeah, and I should be starting the lap with no less than probably, I want to say 80 degrees at the bare minimum. And yeah, it's, you know, we had a couple rears on maybe 80 degrees, and then the fronts weren't even mid 70s. So in retrospect, that's why I'm missing pretty much every apex here, I believe. Doesn't mean it's not worth sort of finishing the lap and at least having something on the timesheet, but it's not looking good. And we know the car's now understeering. How do I take this last corner to finish out the lap? Yeah, I'm very careful with it here. Ride out the line, get the power down, and we're gonna finish this lap with a 130.6, basically 130.7, not fast enough, and we're gonna have to go again. So yeah, we're up onto our last qualifying attempt for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Trying to get the tires warmed up. I took this corner a little bit more carefully this time. I wanted to make sure I got some decent power down going to the straight, and it looks like it worked out. We're almost a tenth faster going into turn 1. A slight lockup and hesitation, but able to keep it under control, and the momentum allows me to hold the line, and I gain about half a second almost into that section, pull it into turn 4. It's still not great, but the momentum is with me, and I'm able to get the power down on these fresher tires and this more warmed up track. And going into the hairpin of turn 8 here, I'm even able to hit the apex there and get the power down coming out. We are now almost 8 tenths faster than last lap, but then, I'm a little bit early turning into turn, 10 there. And that cost me so much time in the momentum there. I'm not just losing time on the delta you're seeing there, I'm losing time all the way down that straight. But I also managed to keep momentum through turn 11 and 12 here. And I'm able to pull the nose in just a little bit more than usual into 13. And that's allowing me to bring the time back just a little bit, but it still might not be enough. How does the last corner go? A little bit lazy-like on this last corner, not great, and we also run out of energy, so definitely more left on the table. Not happy with a P20. Yeah.
With qualifying complete, all that remains now is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow, so make sure you join us then.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, as you can see, we're still 2 seconds ahead of the teammate, but...
Damn.
Yeah.
The stage is set for another enthralling race here in the Kingdom of Bahrain. A Ferrari stronghold in years gone by. Will they be able to add to their record today? We go racing today around the 3.36 miles of the magnificent Bahrain International Circuit, with 15 corners and 2 good passing opportunities into turns 1 and 4. Keep an eye out for drivers locking the front left tyre into the tricky braking zone of turn 10. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, edging out Lando Norris, who'll start from P2. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Hamilton, Oscar Piastri, and Hülkenberg. Gasly, Hadjar, Russell, and Alex Albon. Colapinto, Ocon, Lance Stroll, and Antonelli. Lawson, Fernando Alonso, Carlos Sainz, and Gabriel Bortoleto. Behrman, Opmeer, Sonoda, and Brendan Lee completes the grid. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race. And alongside me in the commentary box today, a man who I always look up to, which is easier said than done, Anthony Davidson. Well, Ant, we love this 11th team on the grid. They've certainly made an impact since they came into the sport. But without one person at the helm, I don't think we'd have seen what we've seen so far. Their team principal really is a character.
And you need these characters in Formula 1, Croft. You need them as a driver. You want to have full trust in the person leading your team forward, that your feelings inside the car and about the team are going to be relayed and understood in the right way, and positive changes made.
Alright guys, I had to think about this. I know I have an understeery car beneath me, so if I can rely on it being understeery, maybe I can drive around that. So it's given me the confidence to put on some mediums, drive a little bit aggro, and see if we can't maybe make something happen during the race. Let's get into it. Alright folks, we are back after the formation lap. You can see I'm still not able to get temperature all the way into my tires, and you'll also notice I'm starting at the back. I took some engine penalties just to get some new components. Since I was already starting near the back anyways, that'll help later on in the season. But without further ado, it's lights out and away we go in Bahrain. I get a pretty good start on these mediums compared to some of the softs ahead, but they are hindered by the hards of Bortoleto, and I think Behrman there. I think I see a little opportunity going down around the outside of Bortoleto, but I want to stay out of the way of all the mangling and massaging of cars that's going on the outside of the corner. In fact, I keep all the way to the right on the outside of the exit of turn 1 to just to ensure that I don't take any damage, and I'm 2 positions ahead. It maybe could have been better, but no damage, and it looks like I do have a bit of a tire grip advantage. So I'm happy to keep going along, of course. This is looking like maybe I should make a move as soon as I can here. I'm going to dive down the inside and actually meet up with Bortoleto on the apex of the hairpin of corner 8 there. And it looks like I've been able to get up into P17. Not sure how long this is going to hold. Not sure what the story is with the tire deck yet. Lots of cars ahead on softs, so I'm hoping I can kind of use that to my advantage here on these mediums. But you can already see that the cars ahead are starting to separate into different groups here, and we want to be part of a group with a large number of cars in it, allowing us to sort of latch onto the back of them with our DRS and maybe wear them down over a few laps with our tire wear advantage that we may get if we have higher downforce, which it seems we do. We just caught up to a whole pack of them going into that first corner. Not sure if there was an issue there. We'll have to be mindful of it. Very slow on the straights here. Thanks, Jeff, just letting us know DRS is now available. You can see the groups ahead bunching up. Really worried about the front wing here. Trying to take a peek on the outside of signs. There's some contact up ahead. It's allowed me to get up ahead of Sainz and almost alongside of Ocon. But the tires are not enough compared to those engines. I tried to take it deeper into turn 4, but it only gives us 1 position ahead of Sainz. I'll take it though. And we're up into P16. And I'm noticing now that these tires, really, I need to use them up as much as I can, I think, if I'm going to double stop, because they are faster and they do have more grip at the moment, but that's not going to last long with some of the hard runners ahead. And of course, there's more chaos. Alonso's Aston Martin has just blown its engine. Of course, he's one of our early championship rivals, so as long as he's okay, that's good for us. I need to focus on maintaining this current stint here. Now it looks like we're edging towards maybe potential for a points position if we keep up, but look ahead. Ocon has lost the group ahead, and I do not want to be swallowed up by the groups behind, so I need to figure out a way to get past him as soon as possible. I think I'm going to turn on the energy on this straight. I don't have a lot left, actually, going into the 3rd lap. But I'm going to use everything I've got left and try to get past him. He's going to try to go defensive, but I'm going to be able to outbrake him. Slow down, make sure I hit the apex. He's going to try a bit of a switchback, but I'm able to stay ahead. Up towards the straight, down towards into P4. He gets alongside me, and there's nothing really I can do at this point. That energy is gone. The energy, the engine he's got in the back of his car is unmatched compared to me, so not something I want to fight at the moment, but I'm really worried about the group behind me now. I don't want to be swallowed up by them, and I don't want to lose track of the group ahead either, especially with Ocon being on hards, though. There is a potential that simply holding on to him is an interesting idea, because it could keep us out longer, protect our tires, and actually help us catch that group ahead, which we do seem to be doing. As long as we can keep our nose clean here, I think we might be able to catch up to the group ahead slowly on those softs. But we have to be careful of the cars behind, who are much faster as well on their softs, especially the Red Bull of Tsunoda, who's going to go down the inside of us on the end straight. I'm going to try to charge the battery. I've got nothing left in the tank, and another straight to defend on, and it's becoming clear now that we definitely are out of contention for points, at least in terms of the league we're racing in right now. I'm able to sort of defend from, I think that's Sainz's attack back on me, but he gets along the inside of me going into turn 3. And now I'm next to him on turn 4. I'm going to try to maybe switch back onto the inside of him, but my tires are just too warm at this point. And he's still on those softs that are a little bit grippier, but they should be evening out now with my tires, I would say. Bahrain being as rough on them as they are. And I'm really starting to worry now that, you know, P17 is sort of where we seem to be settling into. That's not great, considering you can see all the groups ahead there moving on up and into points position, so it's not looking good right now. And I'm also aware that the energy is becoming a problem as well. I'm not sure if that's maybe an upgrade we're gonna have to look at on the car, or maybe if we just go right to the engines. But you can see here, there's just not enough juice. There's not enough horsepower to really defend from, I think it's the Ferrari engine in that Sauber behind me. I can't remember now. This is, it's a year ago. Hard to say. That's F125 is a year ago, but yeah, he's gonna glide past me on the straight there, and you can see that the groups ahead are starting to pull away. This is sort of my worst nightmare, but maybe I can hold on to Bortoletto in the worst case scenario. He's got those hards, so if I can hold on to him at very least and stay out as long as possible, maybe Maybe the race comes back to us later. I'm not sure yet. But we'll have to see how this ends up, because right now I'm worrying. That's for sure. I am very much worried. Even for the season, we are that far behind. And skipping ahead now to lap 10, everybody starts making their first round of pit stops. You can see we're able to keep up with Bortoletto the whole time, but Lawson beside us now is threatening to take our provisional P7 away. But again, with the engine power, and neither of us ended up with DRS there, and yeah, I don't know if you noticed, but yeah, our tires after 10 laps on these mediums are now at 60%, and you can see throwing the car into, what is that, corner 7 there, I think? I almost lost it completely. Impossible to try to keep the car straight there. It's really becoming difficult, so I'm having to take my time. Now officially lost DRS to the cars ahead as well. This is not looking good, but man, if I can just stay alive a few more laps, it might be a one-stop. I think. We'll have to see how this plays out, but 66%, if I can stay out to maybe lap 13, 14 would be ideal. That might give us a tire advantage for the rest of the race. So we're going to ignore our team at the moment. I'm going to try to stay out and just focus on my pace at this moment. Just trying to give room to Lawson behind. I realize he is faster. I'm not going to fight them anymore at this point. I realize I'm just wasting time fighting them. I'm just going to do my pace. Try to minimize the damage, but I really want to stretch to see how far we can get these tires to go. And maybe turn this into a one-stop and save us about 16 to 17 seconds in our race. We have a bit of a moment coming out of turn 3 there, going into turn 4. And again, the tires just wanting to let go and swing, almost up into, I think it's at 70%, it says, is the right left there, or sorry, the rear left. And yeah, we need to hopefully hold on here. Well, we managed to get to P10, provisional P10, after being passed by Russell and a few others. And we've made it to lap 13. But as you may have just seen, you can see right there, our rear left,
Oh my goodness.
yep, is at now 84%. I really wanted to push it to lap 14. But it feels like 2 blocks of ice for wheels on the rear, so I'm going to bring it in.
Okay, the car behind has newer tyres than you. Maintain the gap if possible.
Don't want to suffer a puncture at any moment. And it's looking bleak, but the race could still come back to us. It still could come back to Outcast Racing. Let me know in the comments if maybe I messed something up on the setup, or the strategy was bizarre. Maybe there's something in the driving. Shut up, Jeff. I'm trying to talk to the... Anyways. Yeah, as you can hear me say there, we're trying to do the best outlap we can now and minimize the damage. If we can survive a one-stop, let me know in the comments if you guys would have tried for a one-stop as well, or if you would have maybe tried driving it differently to change the tire wear, or maybe the setup difference. Let me know. Yeah, very unnerving to hear on lap 14 in last place, almost 5 seconds behind the next position. But it is still a long race, and I'm really hoping it comes back to me here. But the understeer and the lack of pace with the rest of the group is really concerning, so yeah, let's hope. And we are now skipping ahead onto, which lap is this? Lap 22. We finally have the last people taking their final pit stops, and it reveals a provisional P10, which is amazing. We might get a point. Other than The fact that there are 2 angry Red Bulls behind us on brand new hards with 6 laps to go. And we've really struggled our way into this situation. In fact, we're going to lose DRS to Hajar in front. And as you can see, yeah, the Red Bulls got ahead of us and couldn't really do better than a P12, I think it was. It's not great, but, you know, I feel accomplished this time. There was not a lot of mistakes. The car just was slow. We didn't drive perfect, but we didn't make as many mistakes as last time. And you can see here, yeah, we ended up P12 from P22. I think that's great, but could have been better, guys. You know, thanks for stopping by. Let me know in the comments if you have anything, any suggestions of how I could do this differently, or, you know, how I should approach a race going forward. I appreciate it, guys. And we'll see you next episode. Should be Jeddah. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Ciao.